Hey Angular crew, it's Brian, back again with another Signal Forms example. Building dynamic forms in Angular has always felt a little like assembling IKEA furniture without the instructions. But soon there will be a simpler, more reactive way that actually feels reactive. Today, we're taking a form built the old way with reactive forms and upgrading it to use the new Signal Forms API. It's still experimental, but what it can already do will make you wish it wasn't. All right, let's dive in. So here's what we're starting with. We've got a form with a single email text field right here. Then we've got a button to add another one. We've got a submit button that's disabled because, well, the form's empty. And then down here, we're showing the form's current value as JSON. It's just an array with a single string value to start. When we click the Add User button, it creates a new email field dynamically. Perfect. Then if I start typing an email address, it's not valid yet, so we get a validation message to let us know. But as soon as we add a valid email, the error disappears. Exactly what we expect, right? Let's remove that empty one and check it out. The submit button is now enabled because our form is valid now. All right, so that's our working baseline. Now let's look at the code that powers all of this before we flip it over to Signal Forms. First, let's look at the form component. Here, we're using the classic Reactive Forms module. We are creating a form array of form controls. Each one is a string that represents an email. Inside the array, we're starting with one control that's both required and must be a valid email. Then down here, we've got the add method that simply pushes a new form control into the form array. After this, we have the remove method that takes an index and removes that control from the array, as long as there's at least one left. Pretty straightforward stuff. And at the bottom, we've got an empty submit method that we're not doing anything with yet. So that's the TypeScript. Now let's look at the template. Here, we're looping through the controls in the form array to render the label, text box, remove button, and validation message. Here, we can see the input is bound to its form control using the form control directive. So Angular automatically keeps the value in sync. Then we show a remove button only if there's more than one field. So you can't delete the very last email box. Next, we have the validation message. When a control has been touched and is invalid, we display our little red error text. And finally, we have the buttons at the bottom. We have one for adding new users, and then we have another for submitting the form, and it's disabled while the form is invalid. Okay, now that we understand how all this works, it's time to switch it all over to the new Signal Forms API. Angular's new Signal Forms module lets us describe forms using signals instead of reactive form classes. It's still experimental, so you probably shouldn't use this in production yet, but it's shaping up to be a huge improvement in how we model reactive form state, and hopefully will be officially available sooner rather than later. Okay, let's go step by step to convert our existing form to this new API. To start, let's remove the old form array completely. That's going to be replaced by a simple signal-based model. Then, let's remove the reactive forms module imports. We don't need any of this anymore. Next, let's add a new signal named model. This will serve as our entire form state. Each item has a stable ID for tracking and a value string for the email input itself. When converting this over to Signal Forms, I found that I needed a unique ID in order for the template to update properly when removing items, so that's why we now have an ID. Okay, now we can create our form structure using the new form function from the Signal Forms module. So what this does is it wraps our model signal in what's known as a field tree, a reactive structure that keeps the form state in sync with our data. Inside this callback, let's apply a schema using the applyEach function. which loops over each item in the array and lets us attach validators. Then we'll use the new required method to make this field required. Also, we'll use the new email method to require a valid email format. So this is now just like before, but now it's signal driven. Now we can update the add and remove methods to work with the model signal. Instead of pushing controls, we just update the signal directly. And when we add, we'll add an object with an ID and an empty string value. And same thing for the remove method. We'll switch to just updating the signal and we'll filter the item that we're removing out of the list of controls. And that's it. But there is one last thing we need to do before we switch to the template. With signal forms, we'll use a new field directive instead of the old FormControl. So let's make sure we import that in our component imports array. All right, let's switch to the HTML. Here we'll replace the reactive form bindings with the new signal form syntax. First, we can update the for block to remove the controls from the emails list since it's now a new reactive field tree array, and we'll track using the model's ID at the same index. Next, the FormControl directive is now gone. We'll replace it with the new field directive and bind it to control.value on our object. That's all we need. The field directive automatically manages input, events, validation, and state updates, just like the old FormControl did. Then we just need to fix up our conditions. For showing the remove button, we'll need to reference the value signal. For the validation message, we now need to check the signal-based state for touched and invalid instead. And then we need to update the disabled binding on our submit button to use signals now too. Lastly, in our JSON preview, we'll switch from the getRawValue function to the model signal instead. Okay, that should be everything we need now, so let's save it all and check it out in the browser. Nice, everything looks exactly the same to start. We've got one email field, the Add User button, a disabled Submit button, and our JSON output. Then, when we click the Add button, a new email field is added and the remove buttons appear just like they did before. Nice. When we start typing in the email field, it becomes invalid just like before, and we see our validation message. And then once we enter a valid email, the field becomes valid and the message disappears, just like before. Then when we remove the empty field, the submit button enables because everything's valid now. Visually, it's pretty much identical, but the code behind it is completely new. Now, often when switching to signal forms, it can result in less code overall, but in this situation, that's not really the case. Here it's really more about the fact that this is now a dynamic form that is signal-based and will play nicely with other signal-based concepts like computed signals, linked signals, and even effects. So that's how you can build a fully dynamic form using nothing but signals and the new experimental Signal Forms API. Remember, this is still experimental, so keep it in your lab for now, but when this hits stable Angular, it's going to simplify forms like never before. If you learned something new, be sure to subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps more Angular developers discover these tutorials. And hey, if you want to show some Angular pride, check out the Shieldworks United by Craft tees and hoodies linked below. They're for the ones who code like it's a trade. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.